The Lost Ladybug. It was a bright spring morning. The sun smiled gently over a beautiful flower garden. Colorful butterflies danced in the air. Bees buzzed happily from flower to flower. Lyra and Emma were walking slowly along the little garden path. Lyra looked carefully at every flower. Emma watched tiny insects with curious eyes. Suddenly, Lyra stopped walking. She pointed at a tiny red ladybug sitting quietly on a green leaf. The little ladybug looked sad. It wasn't flying. It wasn't smiling. It simply looked around again and again. Lyra gently whispered, "Emma, I think something is wrong." Emma carefully looked closer. The tiny ladybug moved slowly. Then it looked up at the girls. The poor little insect had lost its home. It didn't know where to go. Lyra felt sorry for the tiny creature. Emma smiled kindly. "We should help." The girls looked around the colorful garden. There were so many flowers. Tall sunflowers, purple lavender, bright yellow daisies, red roses, soft white lilies. But where could such a tiny home be hiding? The search began. Lyra carefully looked under large, green leaves. Emma checked beside little rocks. They searched near flower pots. They searched beside the garden fence. Tiny butterflies fluttered nearby. A friendly bee buzzed around the flowers. Even a little grasshopper jumped from one leaf to another. The garden was full of life, but they still couldn't find the ladybug's home. The little ladybug waited patiently on Lyra's finger. It trusted its new friends. After a while, Emma noticed something. She pointed toward a quiet corner of the garden. "There are many tiny plants over there." The girls walked carefully. The grass became softer. Tiny flowers grew close together. Little leaves covered the ground like a green carpet. Suddenly, Lyra saw several tiny ladybugs crawling happily on a small plant. 1, 2, 3. Many little red dots moved across the leaves. The lonely ladybug quickly opened its wings. It flew into the group. The other ladybugs gathered around happily. It had found its family again. Lyra clapped softly. Emma smiled with joy. The tiny ladybug was finally home. The girls watched quietly. The little insects explored the fresh green leaves together. They looked safe. They looked happy. The gentle wind moved through the flowers. Birds sang cheerful songs above them. The whole garden seemed to smile. Lyra and Emma felt warm inside. Helping someone, no matter how small, made the day extra special. As the sun slowly moved across the blue sky, the girls began walking home. Before leaving, Lara looked back. One last time. The tiny ladybug sat happily beside its family. It almost looked like it was waving goodbye. Emma laughed softly. What a wonderful adventure. Laira nodded with a big smile. Sometimes, even the smallest friend needs a little kindness. And sometimes, a small act of helping can bring the biggest happiness.